Page. Today we are going to be going through one of our amazing colour ranges with Joico, our Vero K-Pak Color. So if you do have any questions at all, feel free to pop them up during this. My name is Jessie and I'm an educator in Wellington, New Zealand, and hopefully you guys will learn a few things along the way. So let's get started. With Joico, we have a mission. It's called The Joy of Healthy Hair. So we're all about making sure the hair is in the best, strongest, shiniest, healthiest state it can be during all colours, all processing, and all time during the hair. Our vision is to spread the joy of healthy hair to every stylist and client, making it a more beautiful world. Joico is very, very they're all about making sure the hair is kept in its best state, and you'll see that through this presentation. So firstly, before we get started, we'll have a quick chat about what we do at Joico to provide some help to our planet while we're creating our colours and ranges. So all of our packaging in our Lumishine Colour, K-Pak Color and Blonde Life hair colour tubes are packed in cartons that are made from 100% recycled fibre, which is great. The cardboard cartons have been diverted from the waste stream and are 100% recyclable. We also have Joico has invested in a wind energy farm, so that also helps the manufacturing of a lot of our products in Geneva, which is amazing. So looking at today, we're going to be doing the Vero K-Pak color system. So as you can see, we've got some developers, we've got some color tubes and some powder lightener in our Vero K-Pak color system. So we've got everything that you'd need in a salon. And so we'll get into it. So looking at the technology of the colour. So what we have firstly is a Quadramine complex, which is the key technology in our award-winning K-Pak reconstructor. So what Quadramine complex will do is reconstruct the hair internally and externally while the color is processing. So you're actually going to find that the hair is going to be in a really great condition. It's also going to help the molecule penetrate faster and deeper. So you're going to get a really great long-lasting color result. The second thing is the color is water soluble, cream base. So basically you don't need to shampoo the color out afterwards, which means, less saturation is, you're not losing as much saturation of color at the basin. So what you can do is pre-shampoo before, ideally with our clarifying K-Pak clarifying shampoo, and then you'll do your color and then cuticle seal and hydrator afterwards. We've also got our transcuticle delivery system, which helps the color molecules penetrate faster and deeper into the hair. So you're going to get a really, really great color longevity out of that. One of the other things our clients love is our Pure Tone series, which our Vero K-Pak Color has. So this is a Pure Tone series. So basically you have all the colors of the rainbow you can actually create your own range of colors with. So you can be super creative, whether it's a really basic color with one or two colors, or you can go a bit more and add in a few different more, and the possibilities are endless with this color range. So really great for those creative hairdressers out there. It's also got a calibrated ammonia system, which basically means we only use the amount of ammonia needed in that specific color. So it's not just going to be the same in every single color tube. So it will give you a lower ammonia range in a lot of the colors. So you're going to have more minimal cuticle damage and less scalp irritation. Also a nicer color to work with, so there's not as much odor and vibrant color results. And also our color, the K-Pak color range, Vero, is got a dual color system. So super easy. You can match your permanent range with your demi-permanents when you're doing a color. So not mixing them together, but if you're doing a retouch, say on the roots with a permanent color and you wanted to pull an ends color through of a demi-permanent, you're able to do that and it's not going to react. So the three Vero K-Pak color pillars that we're going to look at is our Demi-Permanent, which is our chrome color, Vero Permanent, and Age-Defy Permanent. So firstly, the Vero K-Pak Chrome is a Demi-Permanent color. Now this is going to last approximately 4 to 12 weeks, depending on your hair porosity and obviously how often you're washing it. It's going to give you more of a gray blending and deposit color only. So it's going to penetrate the cuticle and slightly into the cortex. So it's going to be mixed with a lower developer. It's got its own developer to be mixed with it. And it's a combination of direct and indirect dyes. So great for those freshen up on the ends, or maybe some low lighting, or just someone wanting a nice rich color or a change of tone. Our Vero Permanent is going to fully penetrate the cortex, mix with a range of developers from 10 to 40 volume developer, depending on what your results are that you're wanting to get. It can lighten the hair, it will also give you full grey coverage, and it will permanently alter the melanin. And lastly, we've got our Age-Defy Permanent, which is for our double base, really grey colours that might need a bit more guts to the color, and it will fully penetrate the cortex and mix with a 20 volume developer, so a 6%. Will give you full grey coverage, and it will alter the melanin. So that's great for your people that are, really, really wiry and steely grey. It's going to give you a bit more guts and a bit more coverage, hence the name Age-Defy. So just briefly looking at the remaining pigment contribution. So obviously, depending on what you're wanting to achieve, whether you're going to be enhancing a color or neutralizing a color, it's always important to check the color wheel, especially when you're toning. For example, if you're toning more on a yellow, you want to go for more violet undertone. If you are slightly more of an orangey red, you'd be going towards more the blues and the greens. So always great to check your RPC before you are toning to make sure you're getting that correct level and color that you're going to be to counteract or enhance. So just looking at the Vero K-Pak color wheel, so you can see we have got a huge amount of different colors depending on what you're wanting to achieve. We've got sort of everything over the whole color wheel. So yeah, it gives you a great range to look at. So I always check the color wheel personally. I love using the color wheel when I'm mixing colors and choosing what my desired result will be with clients, because it just gives you a really good visual of these colors and where they sit. So looking at the permanent cream color, it's mixed at a 1:1 ratio with the Vero K-Pak color peroxide, and timing processing is 35 to 45 minutes at room temperature. If you are doing more grey coverage or reds and coppers, then processing for 45 minutes. It's going to give you a little bit more depositing power and vibrancy. And again, post-color service, it doesn't need to be shampooed, as I mentioned earlier. It will be rinse well and towel dried, and apply the cuticle sealer for 5 minutes and then your intense hydrator for 5 minutes. Now the only difference is the exception of the Fashion and Extra Red series. So those will need to be rinsed out and shampooed. However, if you aren't using those ones, you can just go ahead and rinse and use the cuticle sealer and intense hydrator. So nice and easy. Looking at the Vero K-Pak color peroxide, we've got a variety of ones. We've got our 10 volume, 20 volume, 30 volume, and 40 volume. And this is a great chart to look at for your usage and timing, depending on what you're wanting to achieve. So anywhere from just depositing sort of in up to half to 1 level of lift with your 10 volt, up to 3 to 4 levels of lift with 40 volume developer. And again, different timings, anywhere from 25 to 65 minutes, depending. Usually the 65 in 40 volume is dependent on using a high lift color. So this little formulation chart's really handy. So working with something like this is great in salon. It gives you sort of a good basis to look at for a quick, especially learners, especially apprentices. This is fantastic for. So you can go across to your top one where your desired level, and then down the side is your natural level. So you can easily kind of meet them in the middle. So say for example, you're a natural level 5 and you're wanting to go to a desired level of 7, then you would use a 7 with 30 volume, and that will get you a beautiful result. Again, using that color wheel to see the counteracting of the RPC that you want to use or enhance is great for that as well. So using those two charts together is really, really, really helpful. And also this wee chart is great for your permanent cream color and your steps for grey coverage. So you've obviously got a wee chart here which gives you the step 1 to step 5 with your desired level, your natural level, and your undertone and what you're wanting to achieve. So really helpful. If you are maybe learning, this is a great chart to use. All of this can be found as well on our joico.com.au website. So this is a fantastic chart for you to look at while you're learning, or if you maybe just, sometimes need a little bit of a refresher. So the Vero Glaze No Lift Cream Developer is to be used with our permanent colour, but to say refreshen ends or perhaps just add some shine or toning. So basically, depending on your intensity of what you're wanting to achieve, you're going to process for 5 to 20 minutes, and that will depend. So whether you're going to go maximum intensity or normal or minimum, they will give you darker than your client's natural level if you're going maximum, same as the client's natural level with normal, or to add shine on porous hair as the client's natural level with the minimum intensity. So this is great if you're going to be using it for toning. So you may do a color or do some lightening first, and then you can use a permanent color or one of our toners in the Vero K-Pak color range and add the Vero Glaze to that. So our extra red series, this has got an extra bond dye technology and quadra bond peptide complex. So this is going to be great for those intense reds and gives you vibrancy, shine, and longevity in the color. So you've got two colors, which are, one is the scarlet, which is a red predominant base, and then you've got the dark red, which is crimson. So again, mix one to one, depending on what your chosen result is. You can either go for a 10 volume for a deposit, or maybe half to 1 levels of lift, depending on the color you choose and the level you're working on, or your 20 volume giving you a 1 to 2 levels of lift. And timing for that one is 30 to 45 minutes. And again, just remembering you have this color you do need to shampoo out. So that's one of the colors that I mentioned before that you will need to shampoo. So just looking at some of our questions that have popped up, which is the best developer to use for grey coverage. So manufacturer's instruction for the Vero K-Pak color range for best results is to use your 20 volume. And we will get to the Age-Defy at the end of this presentation. So that is your great coverage for greys. And like I said earlier, your really wiry, thick greys, all pre-blended colors. So nice and easy, nice and quick to use in the salon. They're my favorites. So if you are, wanting that really best grey coverage, you'd use your 20 volume with your Age-Defy. Another wee question here, we have got our Defy Damage Pro Series 1 and 2 work with Vero. Absolutely. So I used Defy Damage Pro Series 1 and 2, which is our bond building range, with all color services, and even sometimes as a standalone service with a blow wave or as a haircut. So it's a great way to introduce your clients into treatments. Nice and simple. You spray it on first before you color, and then shampoo out with your Defy Damage shampoo and do our Pro Series 2 mask for 5 minutes. So it's a really great addition, and it gives beautiful results. It will make your color work look amazing, and over time your hair is just going to look better and better. Cool. And so now we've got our Fashion Series colours, which are also great fun to have a play with. Now these colours, you can see you've got a crimson red, wild orchid, so a red base and a violet base. And again, these are for those really highly pigmented colours that want a little bit of vibrancy and something a bit different, which is nice and fun. Especially in winter months, it's nice to add a little bit of violet or red into the colours to richen them up a bit. So again, 1-to-1 mixation with your peroxide and processing for 30 to 45 minutes. And the Fashion Series, again, will be needed to be shampooed out. Then we've got our high lift series, which I mentioned before, which is generally used with our 40 volume developer, processed for 45 to 60 minutes, depending on what results you're wanting to get, 60 minutes for maximum lift and deposit. So again, these colors, you've got underlying pigments of a blue, violet, and a blue. So depending on what you're wanting to counteract, again, going back to your color wheel, looking at what the underlying pigment is going to be, and then counteracting that and choosing your color through that way. And again, this color is water soluble, so you don't need to shampoo this one out. And all ultra high lift series in the range will mix 1 to 2 mixation. So yeah, that's always good to make a note of, because sometimes we get into the habit of using the same colors 1 to 1. All the high lift will be 1 to 2. Then we've also got our ultra high lift series. So these are going to be a bit more punch for highlighting and toning. So again, you've got a bit more choice with the underlying predominant base. So you've got violet, blue, and green. Now the green is made for sort of those darker levels, because again, going back to your color wheel, you are more in those red to orange undertones that you're going to be counteracting. So the green and the blue are great for those really stubborn, warmer tones. Lots of choice here, which is fantastic. So again, mixing 1 to 2 with your 40 volume developer, so your 12%, and processing to 55 to 65 minutes for maximum results. And our Vero K-Pak Color toners, which are really great, nice and easy, pre-blended colors with, again, your undertones already mixed in. You can either use these by themselves, you can play around and intermix them together. They're really, really lovely colors. So again, depending if you're wanting more of a silvery blue undertone or a pearly violet or a beige blonde, which has got a more red violet undertone, you've got lots of choices. So these are mixed 1 to 1 with equal parts of either the Vero Glaze, which I love using that, or the 10 or 20 vol. So depending on what you're wanting to achieve, you've got processing from 5 to 20 minutes. And I would recommend that you do check it every few minutes, every 5 minutes, until the desired results is achieved. As we know with toning, sometimes it can go a little bit wayward if we're not watching it. So it's definitely one to keep an eye on. I personally love any sort of pearly violet undertones, so my go-to is my TPB, which is the toner Pearl Blonde. So that is my fave. I love a bit of pearly violet undertones, which is always lovely to use. And a question that just popped up. So what I just mentioned, my favorite Vero toner is our TPB, which is the pearl undertone. Anything with a pearl is always my favorite. I also do love using in the Vero Permanent with Vero Glaze, anything B. I love the beiges, they're really beautiful as well. So looking at the Age-Defy, our Vero K-Pak color range for 50% or more grey. These are super, super easy to use, great in salon, a huge variety. So you can see here the little color chart, swatches with which we've got here, the different ranges. So we've got anything from a neutral to cooler to your natural beiges. You've got some gold, some coppers, and reds. So a bit of everything here, which is lovely. Again, we've got our Quadramine complex, and it also is going to give you a really beautiful, soft, silky texture with the hair. The color is going to last really, really well, and the hair is going to be in optimum condition. So in terms of mixing, you're going to do, again, 1-to-1 mixation with a 20 volume peroxide and process for 45 minutes. So again, if you can do less, you can do 35 to 45 minutes. However, I would say do 45 minutes if you do want the maximum grey coverage. Or maybe your finer heads of clients that haven't got the really thick, coarse greys, you could get away with 35 minutes. But if you're wanting that real resistant coverage, and especially the coppers and reds, go for 45 minutes. Again, this colour is water soluble, so you don't need to shampoo it out. You can just rinse and cuticle seal for 5 minutes and rinse again and use your intense hydrator for 5 minutes again. So looking at the third range today, the Vero K-Pak Chrome Color, our Demi-Permanent Cream Color. These are lovely. So again, we've got the color wheel here, so you can see it is a slightly smaller range than our permanent range, but again, you've got all different choices with both, well, all three ranges really. These are great for all over colors that you're just wanting to deposit, like we said in the beginning. It's going to just sort of go into the cortex and the cuticle, so you're not going to alter the natural melanin of the hair. Great for toning, people that may be wanting a little bit of more of a non-committal color, because it will just sort of fade off nicely and not give them a big regrowth. So you can see here the color wheel, lots of different choices. And with the Demi-Permanent Cream color, you are going to be mixing at a 1-to-2 ratio. So that one there is different to your permanent color. So depending on the results that you're wanting to get, you can either use it on for 20 minutes, which will enhance the natural color without heat. For intense darker results, do 15 minutes with a processing cap under preheated dryer, and then for 5-minute cool down. So again, if you're wanting more resistant hair, you're wanting to cover that a little bit more and give it a bit more guts, grey blending or reds, then I would definitely go for that option, because it's going to give you a more intensive colouring process. If you're colour balancing or immediately after a perm or relaxer, then do 20 minutes with processing cap without heat. And we always recommend you do a strand test for the best results as well. If you are using it after a perm or relaxer, definitely do with damp, to apply to damp hair, just so it dilutes that down a little bit, because the hair will be a little bit fragile. So this colour range is ammonia free, which is lovely. So anyone that might be maybe allergic to permanent colours due to the ammonia content of permanent colours, then this could be a really good option. But again, we always recommend a patch test. Pre-light, great for toning pre-lightened hair. So again, 5 to 20 minutes without heat. You can use it with wet damp hair or with dry hair. So if you're putting it on, obviously damp hair, it's going to give you a bit more control, dilute the colour down a little bit, which will be great. So thank you very much for joining me today on our Save Your Hair Care education page. Hopefully you've learned a few things, and we have lots more videos coming up, so be sure to join us. And if you have any further questions, feel free to pop them up and I'll answer them as soon as I'm available. Thanks guys, have a good day. Bye.